Good morning, loves. Good morning. Let's see, 7:37 on December 27th, 2025. And I'm doing this by order and direction, by, we'll just say, heavenly creation. I was speaking with a young man, Zahim, in Pakistan, okay? Early this morning, about 6:03 a.m. Not long ago, really. Anyway, he is a Muslim, beautiful, magnifico, and he, understands his God to be Allah, magnifico. And we were having a very nice conversation about the differences between the Muslims and the Christians and the Buddhists and the Jewish and the Hindus, okay? And the differences in the different walks of faith. Everybody sees things different, and Christianity especially. And he was asking me a lot of questions like, why do Americans want to murder Muslims? I said, well, I'll consider that question. And that was the last question he had for me. I told him I would consider it and I would get back to him. But he asked me some other questions in the meantime, really. And the conversation was absolutely heavenly inspired. I feel, anyway. And this is why. Because it gave me an opportunity to address this very issue about the separations of religions and why John Lennon and Yoko Ono, bless their hearts, were so set on no more wars and no religion in the song Imagine. Yeah, imagine it, if you will. Imagine no religion. It's easy if you try. No hell below us. Above us, only sky. Imagine all the people living life in peace. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one, 'cause we're all one. I hope someday you'll join us lovers, and the world will live as one. Right? No religion. Yeah, because how many wars have been caused in the name of religion? And then everybody asks God to be on their side and that they're justified. Yeah. I would have to say, just like the Jewish today, murdering and the atrocities that are happening in Gaza City to the Palestinians, right? Right. It's an atrocity what's happening. And I asked my friend a question, and I didn't get an answer from him. And I said, did you know that Jesus was a Palestinian? Yeah. Heavenly Precious Father got no answer to that question, and I'm not God. I won't ever pretend to be. I didn't get an answer to that question. No, I didn't. And then he asked me, who do you work for? What work do you do? I said, I work for the heavenly, quite frankly. He says, what do you mean? I said, I said, Jesus worked for the heavenly, right? He said, yes. I said, Muhammad worked for the heavenly, right? He said, yes. I said, Krishna, he worked for the heavenly, right? He said, yes. I said, Buddha, he worked for the heavenly, right? He said, yes. I said, well, there you go. I work for the heavenly, but I'm not them, though. I'm just a little woman. Nothing at all. I just have experience with many walks of faith and understand that they cause us separate. And what creates fear in Americans' hearts, that I've seen and experienced anyway, is the word jihad. In the Quran, it's in the first 2 chapters. Jihad. By very definition, war, unfortunately. Now, that could be the war of sin within you, or it could be the war externally for anybody who doesn't believe as you do. Now, can I ask everybody a question, class? Are the letters L-I-E in the middle of the word believe? Well, if you spell it correctly, B-E capital L-I-E-V-E, there definitely is. Because in every belief, there may be a really big lie. Really. Or a real lie. Seriously? Or is it serious A? I'd say that's a pretty serious lie. Okay? And I explained to my friend in Pakistan, Zahim, that in the walk of Christianity, it's not said to have any kind of war against anybody except our own lower nature, our animal nature. You know, we fight against the sin within, which is in correspondence with the Quran. Yes, the sin within. However, Christianity calls for love and authenticity, most especially. Let me demonstrate for you, if I may. 2,025 years ago, Jesus came as the only living Son of God, the only one. And he deduced the 10 to the 2. And what were the 2 great commandments that Jesus left for me and you? It's pretty crystal clear if you look in the, rear view. The 2 great commandments are this, if you don't have a clue. Love the Lord your God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength as you see him. And love your neighbor as yourself, right? Right? Yeah, that's it, class, just 2. He did a beautiful job. Magnifique. Anyway, in that, those 2 commandments, what's the first word in both of those commandments?
Love.
Class, love. Very good, class. You get stars and A++. Joey gets his name up on the board. Yay! It's a great day. Yes, love, especially. Now, if I may ask you another question, class. Joey, stop flirting with the girl. She knows she feels you. I see you 2 making Google eyes at each other. I don't want to see you playing footsies now. Behave, Joey. Just because you got the answer right doesn't mean you can misbehave, okay?
Okay.
All right. Put the switchblade back in your pocket. Stop playing with it, okay? All right, before I have to take it away. All right. Are you ready, Joey? Are you paying attention again now?
Yeah, I got
My
it.
top student who can get in trouble in the worst way. God help him. He's such a big baby. He's the man child. What do you expect? That's okay. Anyway, back to the question. Oh, gosh, now Sister Mary Elephant has to think about the question again. See, Joey, you distracted me. Dagnabbit, anyway. Let's see. The question was love. I know that's where I left off. I left off with love, and we should begin with love and end with love. That's what Jesus did. He began with love. He loved us and came into the world to save us and deduce the 10 to the 2. And he gave his life out of love. Didn't he,
Yes.
class?
Yes.
Class? Oh, yeah. And, okay. Yeah, very good. Yeah, you made up for some there, Joey. Yeah, and he scraped that poo-poo off his shoe because that's the 13th commandment, but that's another story altogether. Well, I deduced the 10 to the 2 to the 1, but hey, I'm not better than Jesus or any. In fact, I'm lesser. I'm just a little woman. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, love. And love is called to in Christianity, Buddhism, Hindu, in all walks of faith, love is the most important thing. Now, class, can I ask you one more question? Is love the opposite of war?
Yes.
And just to go a little further, why would you say love is the opposite of war, Jose or Joey?
Could be a lot of reasons.
Okay, well, what is love and what is war? In your humble opinion, of course.
What is love compared to war?
Well, no, the question was, and I appreciate your patience, the question, class, is what is the difference between love and war? What makes them different?
One is war is by hate,
Uh-huh.
discriminating, Discriminating.
Hmm.
Discriminating.
War could be fighting with another country
Yeah.
or something, right? That's
And
war.
war against religions too.
War against religion.
Yeah.
Well, and that takes us to another question. And what is love, in your opinion? Because that was the question. What is war? You describe what war is.
Yeah.
Okay, what is love?
Love is when you really love somebody. You know, love is when you take somebody in and stuff, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Love is when you put kindness before hate.
Kindness before hate.
Yeah.
There you go. Beautiful. So it's the opposite of war.
Hate.
Mhm.
Discriminating.
Yeah,
You know?
exactly. So the opposite
Selfish.
of selfish. Yes. Non-inclusive.
Yeah.
Keeping, and anybody who doesn't believe that way should be murdered. Right, Jose?
That's
you
the
know.
only religion believe. I don't think it's
Yeah.
gonna be like that.
Yeah. Is it loving to murder someone for telling the truth in their perspective, and murdering them for it? You think that's okay?
No.
No. Sounds like war to me.
Mm-hmm.
And so I was explaining to my friend in Pakistan that Christians don't call for war. Jesus called for love. Muhammad, may he be in perpetual light, because he did a lot of good things. But Muhammad called for war in the first 2 chapters of the Quran. I think that's a really sad thing, class.
You should ask him that. You should ask him that. That if you married to a woman, right, and if she was Catholic, will you execute your wife because her belief was Christian or baptism? You know.
That's a great question. Great question for the Sabbath morning. Today is Saturday, and it is the Sabbath. And, yeah. And they probably would. They'd be ordered to. If a Muslim wanted to marry a Christian, she would have to totally dissolve her faith altogether with and buy him to the Muslim dogma or rules of how to get into heaven. Right? Just like if he decided to not be a Muslim anymore and become a Christian so he could marry his wife, he would have to follow the Christian dogma that says, you have to be this certain way and follow these certain rules and have our way of thinking to marry your wife. Right, class?
Yeah, well, yeah. Is right.
Right. Yeah, you have to lose your walk of faith because you don't believe the way I believe. So that creates separation, doesn't it?
Well, yeah.
Yeah. And what's the sense in that when there is one all-loving God, he loved us so, so much, a heavenly Father. Some people don't like the word God even in America, and that's a sad thing. However, I look at God as like goddess. There's G-O-D and then there's D-E-S-S, and I feel God has a goddess because Mother Earth is like, she gives the birth, Mother Earth, and Creator Elohim create and seed Mother Earth. Therefore, it's feminine and masculine. But anyway, there's no separation in creation. And so, therefore, religions of any kind, as John Lennon said in the beginning of my video at 1343 exactly, imagine no religions, and then there won't be no war.
Yeah.
Because you won't be allow someone, don't disclude them. Here in America, they want to create Muslim communities where Christians aren't welcome.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen yet a Christian community that has withheld a home for the Muslims. In fact, they're quite encompassing as far as different walks of faith in our country. And I told my friend, if I went to Pakistan or some place that's very heavy in the Muslim, they would take my head off in a skippy. They would jihad all over me, Laurel Ann Ryder, you see? And why? Because I have a difference of my perspective of how I see religion. I've studied Buddhism, Hinduism, Taoism, mysticism, esoteric knowledge, the Quran, the ancient Jewish traditions. I've studied pretty much every walk of faith on the planet, and then some, especially the Gnostic wisdom. So Isn't it just a matter of what you believe in or what you believe? And if someone has a difference of opinion, I don't mind hearing it. I can healthfully debate anybody as long as it's healthy and they're not going to blow my face off for my opinion or crucify me. I've been crucified enough already and lied about and everything. And that's over. I don't have to justify my belief system to anybody. Because I can see the good and bad in everything, pretty much. I'd rather take all the good stuff and leave all the BS, if you ask me. But that's just me. You can call me crazy. Because I love a God that loves everybody. Because it's not the walk of faith that you walk. It's what you're made of inside. Mm-hmm. Are you a light who will hand a dollar bill or 10 to someone who needs something to eat, or a Christmas conscious cookie? Will your belief encourage you to help somebody who's in need? Well, that's the walk of faith I want to be. Not one that says I'm this, that, or the other, and I'm right and you're wrong. Because everybody is, really, to some degree. And we're all suffering. And then we're trying to rise above this. The only way we can do this, loves, is if we get rid of religion altogether, like John Lennon imagined. And I carry that vision for him because he inspired me back when I was a kid to imagine the same thing. And I think it's time. Don't you, loves? At 1643, you know me, I'm getting long-winded. I'm just Laurel Ann Ryder, a little lady. I'm not perfect, and I'm never going to be. I appreciate being under construction and ascending progressively, as we all should, and lighten up. Follow your higher nature, not your lower animal nature that wants to separate you and make you right because of your ego or your lower nature. Listen to the Gospel of Mary Magdalene and you will understand, especially by Jean-Yves Leloup. The Gospel of Mary Magdalene. Get that on audio. That'll blow your hair back, babies. Just that one. Then go into other knowledge and find your own truth within. Okay? I love you. I really do. I'm praying for every single one of you who are following a dogma that is misleading you. Remember, Jesus was a Palestinian, so what are the Jewish doing to him again? It's a sad thing. I'm praying for everybody in this season. We're winning. I think we got some momentum, darlings. But then again, I have faith. And I've been said, people have said I'm crazy for it. Don't you love it? I'm in great company, darlings. Love you, loves. Totally.